One of the most touching writing experiences I've ever had in my life happened in 2008. In 2007, my niece, Kathy Blacker, in Brigham City, was dying of cancer in her 50s. I went to visit her, and there was a plaque up above her bed with 3 verses written by Gordon B. Hinckley. What is this thing that men call death? And she said that she had found that in one of her files, and it brought her more comfort than anything. So she had written to President Hinckley and asked if she could have permission to have it printed on her funeral program. And he had written not only his permission, but such an encouraging letter to her. It meant so much to her. She said, but it needs music. Would you write to him now and see if you could set it to music? I was hesitant. I wasn't accustomed to writing to the prophet, but she asked me to, and it meant a lot to her, so I did. And I thanked him for what he had done for my niece and asked if I might give it a musical setting. He said that would be fine. And I said, we publish little volumes of hymns. Would we be able to use it in there? And he said, well, send it to me when it's done. And so I brought the poem home. I set it on my piano and was almost too in awe of writing with the prophet to start. And one day I felt like I knew how it should go, and I wrote the hymn. And I sent it in to him quickly and sent my niece a copy because she was very near death. And her mother played it for her, and she enjoyed hearing it. Well, toward the end of January, I hadn't heard from him to get permission or approval. My niece died in January, and then only about 10 days later, I received a call from my daughter saying President Hinckley had passed away. I felt such a personal loss for me, for the whole church. And yet I also felt sad that I didn't get permission to publish it. He passed away on a Sunday evening, and when my son went out to get the mail on Monday, he came in and said, is this the letter you've been waiting for from the office of the First Presidency? I opened it with trembling hands, and it was his permission, saying he loved the hymn, and we could publish it in our little series of hymns if we wanted. As far as my question of whether I should give it to the church, he said, I'll leave that up to you, in his modest way. I was overjoyed. I came to find out that he had written a letter Friday, his last day in office. His secretary had mailed it Saturday. He passed away Sunday, and I got the letter Monday. And the next day, Craig Jessup called and said the family would like it sung at his funeral. I was so full of joy just to think that my little hymn, a few bars of music, could be part of the tribute to such a great man. I watched on TV. I wasn't there, but when I heard my Tabernacle friends singing it so slowly and beautifully, it was one of the highlights of my musical life.